one for you then is a little bit of a no-fly opportunity with Princess. So sailing to and from Southampton next May and going back to the Baltics on a great, good 2-week Baltic itinerary with an overnight in St. Petersburg as well. I don't think we've been able to offer that for a wee while because there's kind of been a mix of itineraries going out that way. But for next year, we are going for it. And this is going to be brilliant. If you've got some future cruise credit and you're looking for somewhere, a new offer to put it into, then this could absolutely be the one. Now, of course, we're going to want to go away a lot sooner than May 2022. But with this one, we're putting it in place right now because your deposit is just a mere £50 per person, which is really good. So 14th of May next year, 2 weeks of cruising on Sky Princess. Now, Sky Princess is, well, she launched in November of 2019. So not many people have sailed on Sky Princess at all, which is quite nice because she kind of still feels brand new, and she is, to all intents and purposes, absolutely brand new. It's why, as yet, we've not obviously been able to get on board and get some open and ready and cruising footage yet, but you can see her sort of coming together and taking life here. She's brilliant. So she's the 4th in the Royal class with Princess, so which means she's one of the bigger ships as well. She's got an Ocean Medallion. We talk about Ocean Medallion all the time. This is that little bit of tech, like a coin, that you carry around with you, gets you in and out of your staterooms. You charge to the bars with it. You order via the app food, drinks or whatever to come to you out on deck, rather than having to, you know, get dressed and changed again and you know, go queue up at a bar or a restaurant or whatever. Everything comes to you, which I think is so clever. You're going to love everything about this cruise. Of course you are, because even if you don't step off the ship right the way through the 2-week itinerary, there is so much going on through the day and through the night as well, whether it be relaxing in the spa, enjoying the dining opportunities, the fabulous entertainment, of course, which I'm sure, you know, everyone that performs on cruise ships right now must be absolutely itching to get dancing and singing and get the violins out playing again for audiences. You know, it's what we all live for right now, is getting back to some kind of normality. Movies under the stars. Oh, yes. You can also go behind the scenes as well on this ship, because they've got one of those tours where you can see where you shouldn't see, really. Things like the kitchens and the bridge and things like that. Things that you don't normally get to see, which is really nice. So I think you're going to have a fabulous cruise here, because you've got 2 weeks. What's not to love about 2 weeks of cruising? Right now I'd do anything, wouldn't you? So this is to and from Southampton. Your first 2 days are cruising at sea, which is brilliant. Get to know the ship, just relax into your holiday. First port on our way out into the Baltics is Gdansk in Poland, one of the amber centres of the world as well. Old Town is very nice for a little browse for jewellery and such like. Then we go to Gotland, to Visby, which is just off the coast of Sweden there, as you can see. Very historical sites here, the Powder Tower and the Maiden's Tower. And you've also got, there's a 12th century church there. Very historic kind of place, this little island called Gotland. Then we go into one of the most scenic cruises in the world, of course, into Stockholm, because it's lots and lots of little islands that you're sailing through into Stockholm. And Stockholm itself is 14 individual islands and a city of nearly 1 million people. Then on to Tallinn in Estonia, which is a really sort of fairy tale looking place. Really beautiful, medieval. Just a really charming city. Then the highlight of this cruise, of course, which is 2 days and a full night in St. Petersburg in Russia. Of course, you've got things like the Hermitage here, the Peterhof Palace, the Catherine Palace, Peter and Paul Fortress, Church of the Saviour of Spilled Blood, St. Isaac's Cathedral. There's canal cruises. There's so much for you to do. Good job we're there for 2 days, to be honest with you. Then we move on to Finland, into Helsinki, the capital, of course. You've got the Sibelius Park and Monument there, which is dedicated, of course, to the very famous composer. There's a lovely zoo there, plus so much more. Then we have a day at sea into Copenhagen, Tivoli Gardens, Hans Christian Andersen's house. You've got the Little Mermaid and so much more there. Then we go from Copenhagen to Kristiansand. So we're back up in Norway here, in Fjordland, really. It's beautiful. You can take a Segway tour here if you're very brave. And there are other excursions on offer as well. And then you have a day at sea and then you come back into Southampton. I'm only adding that note of caution because I've never stepped on a Segway before. Maybe it's a lot simpler than I think it's going to be, but I haven't got a great sense of balance, to be honest with you. So give me a bike any day of the week. I think I'll be fine on that as long as I've got some knee pads, but I'm not sure about a Segway because that kind of, yeah, that requires a bit of dexterity and kind of getting to know it and things like that. And it would go wrong for me, I just know, so I wouldn't do it. Anyway, this is totally irrelevant. Yeah, and there'd be a camera crew following me. You're quite right, Mr. P. Right, anyway, let's get you on this holiday then. So although this is May next year, the reason we're telling you about this right now is because the deposit is just £50 per person, which is really, really good. Your price for the cruise, by the way, is well under what you think it will be, 1149 per person, and just £50 per person deposit today. That's all we're talking about here, which is incredible. Here's the details. Princess Plus is in play on this one, of course, as well. So if you want to take this all-inclusive, premium drinks package, gratuities, and unlimited Wi-Fi, £35 per person per day. Bargain, absolute bargain. Now, if you've got future cruise credit, and we talk about this all the time as well, just in a way to remind you that you might have had your eye off the ball off it. You might have this credit sitting there for a cruise that couldn't go, and you need to move it to another deal. So this could be the one, couldn't it? It may end up being, and this may be the case as time goes on actually, that the deal you're moving to turns out to be a bit better value for money than the one you originally had planned in. That's the way cruising kind of has gone, which is good news, isn't it? That's really good news, that the prices are bonkers right now, and you're talking just a £50 per person deposit. And because this is no fly, you've got absolute security with Princess as well. This is May of next year, so there's plenty of time between now and then. And such a low deposit for you to say, right, okay, I'm going to fix that price right now and pay just £50 as a deposit. Should we go back on board? Yeah, why not? This is Sky Princess. This is the new Sky Princess as well. So she's got lots and lots of features which you might not have seen on other, even Princess cruise ships. Talking about Wi-Fi, by the way, if you do take up Princess Plus, which includes the Wi-Fi, of course, it means that with their new faster Medallion Net Wi-Fi that you can access the internet pretty much anywhere you are on board. So if you need to, post pictures, have a video chat with somebody, or you've got lots of catch-up services on your gadget. I'm sure if you've got a Kindle or an iPad or whatever, you'll probably have a Netflix or a Amazon Prime, or other services are available, or Disney Plus or something like that, where you can catch up on your binge watching. So you can still do that while you're at sea in the middle of nowhere, which is quite clever, really, isn't it? If you think about it. We didn't have that back in our day, did we? No, absolutely. I mean, Wi-Fi on ships, has always been a bit of an anathema. You've not really been able to sort of do it. But technology, of course, is an amazing, amazing thing. So now you can keep in touch wherever you are, pretty much. I mean, that might not be important to you. You might think, you know what, as soon as I get there, that phone's going in the drawer. I don't care what happens for 2 weeks. I'm away on holiday, and that's absolutely fine. In fact, I'd like to think that I'd be quite inclined to do that, but I'm afraid I'm a bit of a slave to my gadgets, I have to say. But there you go. I think after everything that's happened, I think you would probably just say, no, actually, 2 weeks, no news headlines, thank you very much. No, nothing. I'm just going to get away from reality and enjoy this holiday. Anyway, listen, I have yatted on long enough. So if you like the idea of that, give us a quick call, 0800 953 4700. Mr. P's had enough for me as well, because you can hear the music bubbling up already. Time for me to go, but I'll be back, in just a couple of minutes.